32nd Armenian Bar Association annual meeting is dedicated to one of our stellar past chairs, Edvin Minassian. Like many of us, Edvin was the immigrant dream and embraced life. Born in Istanbul, Turkey, raised in New York City and Los Angeles, Edvin worked nights and attended school during the day. He was fluent in 4 languages and a scholar of European history. He graduated USC and Loyola Law School. In his free time, he played collegiate soccer, and his passport contains many global entry and re-entry stamps. In 2018, Edvin was decorated with the coveted St. Nerses Shunahali Medal for his community service. Edvin was a successful workers' compensation litigator and the ultimate advocate for justice for his Armenian community in the United States and beyond. Edvin was chairperson of this very organization from 2010 to 2011. And under Edvin's leadership, the Armenian Bar set up a brand new grant for young Armenian lawyers and law students in Armenia, and spearheaded the Rising Stars Under 40 recognition event, some of you here may have already gotten that award. Some of you may be entitled to that award. And as an organization under Edvin's leadership, we filed amicus briefs in federal appeals courts on important issues, including the recognition of the Armenian genocide and human rights in school education curricula. Edvin was a bridge maker, pioneering the Armenian Bar to join forces with other Armenian organizations to combat domestic violence in Armenia. Edvin helped organize one of the most poignant Armenian Bar Association annual meetings. It was the year 2006 in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. Edvin seamlessly moved mountains to arrange to have Hrant Dink, the acclaimed journalist from Turkey, speak to us on the freedom of the press. The Armenian Bar gifted Mr. Dink with an inscribed Liberty Bell, which he was planning to take to jail to serve out his expected prison term. However, who could have imagined what would happen to Mr. Dink months later? The world cannot forget. To quote Edvin, we would like to think of ourselves as the legal counsel of the Armenian nation, as if its constituents were the shareholders of a corporation. We take that self-imposed duty seriously. This weekend we honor Edvin for his commitment to the Armenian Bar and to thank him for reminding us how each of us, as members and supporters of the Armenian Bar, can make a difference.
Thank you, Lucy, and good evening. This is a little unexpected for me. I just found out that I'm supposed to say a few words about our dear Edvin. I really don't know where to begin. Maybe a place to begin is to say that any passing is difficult. We all have our different ways of coping with death, dealing with death. Some are very emotional, others more stoic. I'm generally in the latter category, but not in this case. In the span of maybe 10, 11 years, this man became one of my very closest friends. Not simply because he was an excellent lawyer or a devoted, patriotic Armenian, but as a human being. Generous, humanistic, wide in his purview, and deep in his thoughts. Truly untimely, his passing, and it still feels like a punch in the gut. Edvin was very active in the Armenian community in his understated way. In addition to chairing committees and then chairing the Armenian Bar Association, he was active as chairman of the Western Diocese. Probably his pride and joy was the organization of Istanbul Armenians, which he chaired for a number of years. And he served also on the board of the Armenian Legal Center for Justice and Human Rights. He certainly had a wide resume and a wide purview. I have many recollections. I can't share them all here, but I will mention a few. In my view, Edvin did a very important service to the Armenian Bar Association. He took the ABA from being mainly a professional organization and took it into a broader context, one in which the ABA addressed issues of contemporary relevance, not only in the legal profession, but in the Armenian world. It took on issues of justice and human rights in Armenia, as Lucy mentioned earlier, took on issues dealing with reparations and claims stemming from the Armenian genocide, and just more broadly, tried to find areas of intersection between the legal profession and Armenian public policy. And for this, we owe it really a debt of gratitude. The Armenian Bar Association today really is one of the leading Armenian organizations in the U.S. Armenian community. Because it is not simply a professional organization, although it is that. It also addresses many of our challenges as a nation. I also want to say I came into close working contact with Edvin through the ABA, but also through a special project that was dear to his heart and dear to my heart. Professionally, I work as a trustee of the Tufenkian Foundation, working in Armenia and Artsakh. And one of the projects that we're particularly proud of is the Women's Support Center that was established in 2010 as a partnership between the Tufenkian Foundation, AWA, and at first USAID. And it was designed to promote gender equality in Armenia and specifically focus on domestic violence, which at the time was a non-issue in Armenia's public culture. And in 10 years, we have taken the Women's Support Center to a point now where domestic violence is on the books. There's actually a criminal code that deals with domestic violence, and there is grudging acceptance in Armenian society that this problem exists and must be addressed. Well, our first domestic violence shelter in Armenia, the first professionally run shelter, was established in 2012 following an intensive fundraising effort in Los Angeles, which Edvin chaired. He really performed, and not only performed, he completely got the issue, understood the issue, and threw his weight behind it. It was a pleasure working with him on that issue and on many others. And since then, again, I applaud the ABA for growing into truly one of the important organizations in our reality here in the U.S. Armenian community. So thank you, and carry on.
As partner for the last 28 years, so I apologize for my sentimentality. I am genuinely touched by your decision to dedicate this year's meeting to Edvin. On behalf of everyone at our office, and in particular our other partner, Martin Tannenhaus, and Edvin's brother, Bertan Edvin Minassian, I thank you all, and especially my close friend Denise Darmanian and Lucy for this thoughtful gesture. The last many months have been tough for all of us, and it's hard to accept that Edvin is gone, but thank you. As someone here tonight suggested, perhaps it's better to think of Edvin as having gone on a long vacation, which he always used to do anyway. So I think it's better if we think of him as being on a long vacation. It makes me feel better, and I'm sure to those of you who are close to him, it makes you feel better as well. So I am very, very honored to be present among you tonight, and I wish you continued success in the work that you do, in which Edvin so fondly believed. I am not Armenian, but I know that he was very passionate about the Armenian cause, and I know that we spent many hours at the office telling Edvin to focus on work as opposed to the Armenian Bar Association and all the events that he was trying to to organize. His favorite person was Hrant Dink, and I was again honored to be a part of the Hrant Dink saga. We had many a fabulous meeting with Hrant Dink. So I want to thank you all, and I wish you continued success again in all the causes of the Armenian Bar Association. I wish you Godspeed, and as RBJ said, I wish him to rest in power.